choice to being like the face of white fragility. People are like,
"You gonna sit up there and say that I'm holding Caitlin Clark out there as a victim?"
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. So the thing is, leaving Caitlin Clark out of the Paris Olympics was the right decision for the US team. Okay, though with no doubt Clark would have drawn more eyeballs to the women's basketball tournament, the Olympics are not meant to be a participation trophy. It should be the best players who go, and hard as it might be for her fans to hear this, Clark is not one of the 12 best US players right now. She's too turnover prone, her total 67 and average 5.6 per game are well above those of anyone else in the WNBA. Those miscues would likely multiply at the Olympics because she'd be firing passes at players whom she's not had a chance to develop timing or chemistry. Clark has never even practiced with the senior national team. She was invited to the final training camp before roster selection but had to miss because it was, as it has always been the last few years, during the Final Four. And you might recall she was a little busy that weekend taking Iowa to the title game for a second year in a row. Clark's defense also remains a work in progress, which could make her a liability. And as much as she struggles with the physicality in the WNBA, the international game is even tougher.
It's almost like Caitlin Clark has been drafted without her own choice to being like the face of white fragility. People are like, we want you to be all of the concerns we have about white people getting treated, quote, unfairly. We're going to put that on you, Caitlin Clark. And she's like, no, I'm just here to play basketball. And like, whatever comes my way, like, I'm good with it. Like, you know, I just trying my best to be. Oh, I didn't make the team? Oh, you know, I'll probably make it next time. That would be cool. Something to work for. Good luck to the ladies of USA basketball. No, Caitlin. No, it's not that simple. They're trying to hold you back, Caitlin Clark. And that's why Stephen A is catching the button, because he's jumping in on this train of the Caitlin Clark's not being treated fairly by the world, which is not only unfair, actually, to Caitlin Clark. Not only are you ruining it, like we have something awesome and everyone is ruining it, but you're also being unfair to all the other women in this league who don't deserve to be treated like props, because it's a real competitive league with people who care deeply about this. And this whole idea that if Caitlin Clark isn't propped up the right way, then it's not right for the sport. If that's your take, maybe you don't really care about the sport and shouldn't be giving an opinion about it and should hold this baton right here.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Do you hear that bullshit? Now, I'm here to tell you. Tell me, ladies and gentlemen, I should say tell me, I'm asking. Tell me, ladies and gentlemen, what am I supposed to think if I know you happen to be a highly intelligent individual and you misrepresent my thoughts and feelings like that? Didn't call me, by the way. Didn't speak to me. All right? Didn't text me or anything. But you gonna go on public airwaves and say something. You gonna sit up there and say that I'm holding Caitlin Clark out there as a victim? Let me reiterate my point for the challenged. And by that, I don't mean somebody who's cerebrally challenged or intellectually challenged. I think morally challenged, simply because it's not in their heart and in their mind to have this need to be fair. Ladies and gentlemen, I said what I said about Caitlin Clark, and I'm not backing up one bit. There is not a single player on Team USA, not a single player that deserves to be taken off because of her. Not a single player. She's a rookie. She's averaging 16 a game. She isn't shooting great, even though she shoots fourth in three-point range and all this other stuff. But there's plenty of players. All of them deserve to be on a team ahead of her in terms of their credentials. What I have repeatedly stated is that Caitlin Clark is box office. You're the WNBA and you're women's basketball across the globe. You are clamoring for support. Because you are clamoring for that support, and she's box office, and that support could potentially lead to more endorsement dollars, more eyeballs from Madison Avenue, a better television contract, etc. Why not capitalize off of it? That is not about Caitlin Clark. That's about the WNBA. That's about Team USA. That's about women's basketball across the globe. finally having somebody to utilize to ultimately help catapult them. What's the problem? If you disagree with that because you believe it should be purely on merit, that's fine. Hall of Famers have said that. College analysts have said that. Plenty of people have said that. Why the hell would this guy go out there and say to America, yo, Stephen A is propping Caitlin Clark up as a victim? What, you the white boy now that's gravitating to black folks? And you want to make folks believe, hey, you know something? I mean, this is the latest thing that he's doing against y'all. Is that what this is? You sitting there and you on a station, they playing hip hop music that make you down now? You think you know us better than me? Is that what this is? Peter. You go on a Michael K show. Caitlin Clark's a sports topic. You couldn't call a brother? You couldn't ask me yourself? You couldn't know what the hell you were talking about before you went out there and said some bullshit like that? Really? Really? Michael K would have called. Don LaGreca would have called. Brandon Tierney would have called. Host of people would have called. Adam Shawn would have called. DJ Envy would have called. Charlamagne the God would have called. Ebro would have called. Where the hell you at? You know my number. What kind of bullshit is that? You trying to gain favor with a different community? What is it? When did I sit up there and try to prop Caitlin Clark up as some victim? I'm talking about the marketing of women's basketball across the globe. I'm making the case that marketing for women in this particular situation is more important than the merits. If Caitlin Clark had to be on the team for as a 12th man, or woman rather, so be it. Because it's good for the popularity and the exposure for women's sports, which will ultimately elevate them all, which is what they've been saying they've wanted. And you misrepresent my thoughts and feelings like that. Didn't call me, by the way. Didn't speak to me. All right? Didn't text me or anything. But you gonna go on public airwaves and say something. You gonna sit up there and say that I'm holding Caitlin Clark out there as a victim? Let me reiterate my point for the challenged. And by that, I don't mean somebody who's cerebrally challenged or intellectually challenged.